Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brothers, my sisters, my little friends in Islam. Today I want to talk to you about a really amazing man, and I feel so impressed with this man. And every time I read his books, I feel like I'm sitting with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's what the scholars used to say. So when you read this man's books, you feel like you're sitting with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You feel like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is speaking to you. And that's because all the hadith in his book, and that's the main hadith in his book, are all authentic, the main ones. Of course, there's some small ones here and there, some subordinate ones that might not be, but the main ones in his book are all authentic. Who am I talking about? Have you guessed it? It's about Imam Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari. So Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu ajma'in, rahimahullah rahmatan wasi'ah, is one of the greatest scholars of hadith that we have ever known. Phenomenal mind, phenomenal hard work, phenomenal dedication. And he used to be a student of the great scholars at that time. Ishaq ibn Rahway, a great scholar of hadith. You should read about these names, check them up. And these days you can just Google some of these names. Ishaq ibn Rahway or Rahuya, however you want to say his name. There are two ways of saying his name. Then you've got Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, was one of his teachers as well. And of course he was some say he was either from the Hanbali or some say he was from the Shafi'i origins in fiqh. As for his students, mashallah, his student was Imam Muslim. Can you imagine? From his students was Imam Tirmidhi was one of his students, and from his students was Abu Dawood. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, these were some of the names you need to know, yeah? Well, your Tom, Dick and Harry friends, well, it's time that you met some of these people, because if you want to be with them in Jannah, well, how would you do that if you didn't know his names? So this man, Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari, was born in a place in Samarkand, which is in Tajikistan, in a small town called Bukhara. And that is where Imam Bukhari in the year 194 after Hijrah, and the 13th of Shawwal, Allah brought into creation this amazing man, Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari. So Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari, an orphan, he grew up. His mother used to teach him. At the age of 12 years old, he lost his eyesight. He became blind. Now, I keep thinking, I'm a medical doctor, I keep thinking what causes a 12-year-old to lose eyesight? And it's usually, could be cancer, it could be a strong cataract, it could be a viral infection, it could be a whole heap of things that can make a young boy lose his eyesight. I was thinking, could it be multiple sclerosis? I don't know really what it could be that made Muhammad ibn Ismail lose his eyesight, but he lost his eyesight. So his mom kept on reading to him because he couldn't read. So his mom kept on reading to him and making dua for him every day and every night, until when he was 16 years old, his mom saw Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam come to her in her dream, and he said to her, saying, Allah has returned the eyesight of your son because of your dua for you. And wow, and that is something that tells me and you that we should strive to get the dua of our mom. We should do everything possible to get the dua. Please, my friends, please, if your mom's alive, do not waste this opportunity. Call her every day, speak to her every day, make her a cup of tea, give her money, make her something or the other, and say, Mom, make dua to Allah for me. Mom, make dua to Allah. Allah makes me a good person and gives me wealth and gives me health and gives me knowledge. And make lots of dua to Allah so that you become of those people who are blessed, just like Bukhari was blessed due to the dua of his mother. So much dua did his mother make that Bukhari became today one of the greatest scholars. His book called Sahih al-Bukhari was one of the greatest books ever written, and it is perhaps the most authentic book after the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Quran. And Bukhari was sitting once in a gathering of his teacher called Ishaq ibn Rahuya, and whilst he was sitting with Imam Ishaq ibn Rahuya rahimahullah, Imam Ishaq ibn Rahuya said something amazing. You know what he said? He said, Man minkum yanshat li jam'i sahih. That's all he said. He said, is there anyone amongst you who has the desire and the hard work to put together all the authentic hadith of the Prophet in one book? Because before that, they used to gather all hadith, not caring whether it's authentic or not authentic, because they were just bothered about gathering everything together. But because of this statement of Ishaq ibn Rahuya, then Bukhari said, فَوَقَعَ ذَلِكَ فِي قَلْبِي. So that statement touched my heart. Until when it touched my heart, I began to actually get all the Sahih hadith of the Prophet ﷺ together in one book. And this is what we need to remember. Pay attention to anything that your teachers say. Something might touch your heart. And to all my teachers out there, make sure you say amazing words. Make sure you say these amazing words. You never know what word or what phrase will be a seed that is planted in the hearts of these young hearts and young minds. You never know. So it was said that one of the great scholars of Islam, like Al-Dhahabi, it was said that that his sheikh Tartushi looked at his writing and said, wow, look at your writing. Your writing is so beautiful. It resembles the writing of the scholars of hadith. Before that, Imam Al-Dhahabi was just a poet, not a very big deal. And so, subhanAllah, he became a great scholar of Islam just because of a statement that his teacher said to him that touched his heart. Do you think about the statements your teachers say to you? Do you think about it? And the teachers who are listening or seeing this video, do you think about the words and how you say it, and how that could put something in the hearts of your students for which they end up doing amazing things? And you know, the students did it. Bukhari did all the hard work, but Ishaq ibn Rahuya, he is the one who's also enjoying and reaping the rewards of Bukhari, because he was the instigator of that hard work of Imam Al-Bukhari rahimahullah rahmatan wasi'ah. What can we learn from the life of Al-Bukhari? Well, first of all, we learn about hard work. You've got to make it, you've got to do it, you've got to put the hard work in. If you don't put the hard work in, you're not going to win. You know, Ash-Shafi'i rahimahullah, you know what he said? He said an amazing poetry. أخي لن تنالوا العلم إلا بستة سأنبئك عن تفصيلها ببيان الذكاء والحرص واجتهاد والبلغة وصحبة أستاذ وطول زماني. What did he say? He said, my brother, you will not gain knowledge except with 6 things. I'm going to explain these 6 things to you in detail. So he said, الذكاء, which is intelligence, al-hirs, and that is focus, ijtihadu, and that is putting the hard work, putting in the late nights and the hard work and doing that sums and reading the books and giving up your pleasures and actually doing and finding pleasure in this hard work. Wa bulghatu, and money. You need to spend money. You've got to buy books, right? You've got to go and meet scholars, right? You've got to do that. You need money also to not work, so that you can have the money to live, so that you can spend that time in gaining knowledge. And suhbatu ustadin, and being with a teacher. So you need to find good teachers that teach. And tulu zamani, and long duration of time. Bukhari had all of these 6 things. He had intelligence, so he had focus, then thereafter he did the hard work. How many of you actually are very intelligent but you don't work hard? And because you don't work hard, you don't get the A stars. And because you don't work hard, you don't get your full potential. Work hard now. You know, I wasn't very good in maths, and I wasn't very good in Hindi. I wasn't also very good in English. I wasn't also very, you can imagine, like Tawfiq's not very good at anything really. Yes, true. I wasn't very good at too many things, but I made up for it by working hard. So I worked really hard until I became 3rd in all of Australia out of 45,000 students. I worked really hard until I got 99.85% in my TER. I worked really hard until I got into the best medical school in all of Australia. I just worked hard. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. You also have the 24 hours. You can also work hard like Al-Bukhari. Also focus. He focused. He didn't go here and there. That's why it was said that Bukhari used to love to do arrows, you know, arrow and bow, and do some archery. He used to love archery. Why? Because there was something about archery and about hadith and about clarity and focus that used to make him sharp in whatever he did. So you should also take up archery. Yeah, you should take up archery and learn how to do archery. And so you learn how to have focus. And lastly, Bukhari preserved his mind. He didn't sin. Because if you sin, or he tried not to sin, of course, I'm sure he sinned, but he tried not to sin, because when you sin, that's when you forget. And that's why شكوت إلى وكيع سوء حفظي فأرشدني إلى ترك المعاصي وأن العلم نور ونور الله لا يعطى العاصي. And that is another poetry of Imam Shafi'i. What did he say? He said, I complained to my teacher Waqi' about my bad memory. So he said, stop sinning, because knowledge is a light from Allah, and the light from Allah is not given to those who sin. And so this is exactly what you got to do. We are learning a lot of stuff at school, right? And at university. And what we need to do is to stop sinning with Allah. When we stop sinning, that's when the knowledge will stay in our minds. Remember these lessons. Remember to have focus. Remember to have hard work. And remember to stop sinning. And these are the lessons we learned from Imam Al-Bukhari. Make sure you read about him, learn about him, and take him as your example in our path to Jannah. Ameen. Ya Allah, make us with Imam Al-Bukhari in Jannah. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Until next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.